The air buzzed with tension as Commander Ilara Vesquez stood at the helm of the Aegis, the flagship of the newly formed Terran coalition. The bridge was a hive of activity. Officers were moving swiftly, monitoring the holographic displays that flickered with data from the battlefield. Outside, the stars glimmered like diamonds, but the silence of space was deceiving. War was on the horizon. Status report, Ilara commanded, her voice cutting through the chatter. Her dark hair was tied back tightly, and her green eyes sparkled with determination. Squadron Alpha is en route to the rendezvous point, Commander, said Lieutenant Chen, his fingers dancing over the control panel. Enemy forces have been sighted near Titan 4. They're moving fast, but we've got the element of surprise. Ilara nodded, recalling the recent intel. The Zalari, a ruthless alien race known for their brutal efficiency, had been probing the coalition's outer defenses for weeks. Their incursions had grown bolder, and the time for a decisive strike was now. Prepare the fleet for engagement. This is our chance to push back, she said, her mind racing with strategies and possibilities. The Zalari believed humanity to be disorganized and weak, a belief they were about to regret. As the Aegis hurtled toward the battlefield, Ilara reviewed her tactics. The coalition wasn't just fighting for territory, they were fighting for their right to exist in the galaxy. She thought of the families back on Earth, the children who dreamed of a peaceful future, and the sacrifices that had brought them to this point. Commander, a voice broke her reverie. It was Ensign Malik, his brow furrowed with concern. Our scouts report that the Zalari have mobilized a larger fleet than anticipated. They're sending reinforcements. Ilara's heart raced. How many? Estimates suggest at least 5 destroyers and several support ships. They're outnumbering us nearly 2 to 1. She took a deep breath, the weight of responsibility heavy on her shoulders. We've faced worse odds before. Relay orders to all ships, we're not backing down. We will take the fight to them. The crew responded with a rallying cheer, but Ilara could see the flicker of doubt in some eyes. She had seen it too, the lingering effects of past battles and the losses they had endured. But today was different. Today, they were fighting as one. As they approached Titan 4, the viewscreen displayed the chaotic scene unfolding in the void. The Zalari ships moved with fluid precision, their sleek designs contrasting sharply against the rugged silhouettes of the coalition vessels. Launch fighters, Ilara shouted. We need to distract them while we engage their capital ships. The Aegis shook as the fighter squadrons departed, streaking toward the enemy like fiery comets. Ilara watched with a mixture of pride and anxiety as her pilots darted into the fray, expertly weaving through enemy fire. Enemy fleet engaging, Chen shouted, his voice tinged with urgency. They're targeting our starboard flank. Divert power to shields. Helm, take us evasive, Ilara barked, her instincts taking over as she worked through the chaos. As the Aegis twisted and turned, laser blasts ricocheted off their shields. Ilara could feel the pulse of adrenaline coursing through her veins. She had trained for this, prepared for the moment when everything would come down to split-second decisions. Commander, incoming transmission from the Zalari flagship, Malik reported. On screen, she ordered, bracing herself. The holographic display shifted, revealing the imposing figure of a Zalari general. His skin shimmered like liquid silver, eyes burning with contempt. Humans, he sneered, his voice echoing through the bridge. You think you can defy us? You are but insects beneath our feet. Ilara's resolve hardened. We're not here to negotiate. This is our home, and we will fight for it. The general laughed, a chilling sound that sent shivers down her spine. Then let it be your last stand. The transmission cut out, and Ilara's gaze hardened. All ships, prepare for full assault. We won't let them intimidate us. With a fierce battle cry echoing in her mind, she turned back to the viewscreen. The fighters were engaged in dogfights, and the Aegis was now locked in combat with the Zalari destroyers. Target their engines, Ilara commanded. We need to disable their fleet. The Aegis unleashed a barrage of torpedoes, striking the nearest Zalari destroyer. The ship erupted in a fiery explosion, sending debris tumbling into the void. A wave of cheers erupted from the crew, but Ilara knew better than to let her guard down. Stay focused, she reminded them. We have to break their formation. With each strike, the tides of battle shifted. The coalition forces began to rally, pushing back against the overwhelming odds. Ilara felt a surge of hope as she witnessed the resilience of her crew, their spirit igniting like a beacon in the darkness. Status on our fighters? She asked, keeping her eyes glued to the battlefield. Squadrons are holding strong. Commander, we're gaining ground, Chen replied, a note of excitement creeping into his voice. Then let's finish this, Ilara shouted, rallying her crew. For Earth, for humanity. The Aegis surged forward, spearheading the coalition's charge, and as Ilara led the assault, she knew they were on the brink of a new era, a future forged not just by survival, but by the undeniable spirit of humanity. And together, they would show the galaxy that they were far from helpless. As the battle raged on, the true nature of the Terran coalition was about to be revealed, and the Zalari would soon learn that humanity was anything but weak. The war for their future had only just begun.